Welcome to the NFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC West from the best creators in the division, including Los Angeles Rams creator Jake, San Francisco 49ers creator Jesse, Seattle Seahawks creator Brandon, and Arizona Cardinals creator Mike. Catch the NFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. What is up, NFC West football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC West Roundtable. No, I did not get kidnapped. I am in a different location, but I assure you, I am fine, and I'm great. It's great to see it, rather, here on the NFC West Roundtable for a Week 8 recap. My current office is being transformed into a nursery for Baby Bot. So in the meantime, we are going to be taking over the living room as the official headquarters of the NFC West Roundtable. And on tonight's episode, we're going to be recapping everything that we saw in Week 8. And what did we see in Week 8? Well, we saw one game and we saw one loss. It was a very uneventful weekend in the NFC West, but we will dive into what we saw from the San Francisco 49ers. We'll also dive into a couple of trades that we just saw get made within the division and maybe some potential trades we could see happen before the trade deadline. Then, of course, on the second half of the episode, we will dive in to previewing and predicting everything coming your way here in Week 9 in just a few days from now. But in the meantime, let's bring in the fellas. Let's dive into what we saw this past weekend. It's Mike, it's Brandon, it's Jesse, it's Jake. Fellas, was it the most boring weekend of all time or what?
Honestly, I actually had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was enjoying myself. I came out of this weekend in first place. I was feeling it.
Well, I'm shocked you didn't wear your shade just for the occasion.
I was watching my fantasy team. I was having a good time.
No, Brandon, sorry. I said I'm shocked you didn't wear your shade just for the occasion. I mean, you didn't lose in the bye.
Well, I didn't. So. I mean, let's not take it over the top. You know, we are in a tie, so I need to take a moment on that one, but it still feels good nonetheless.
The only problem with you guys not playing is that, you're sitting around, you're watching ball that's not your team. We were treated to some pretty bad ball this past weekend. Almost every single favorite won. Yeah. Almost every single favorite won by double digits. There were some blowouts this past weekend. And I know when you're chilling around and you're kind of kicking back, not having to stress about your team, you want to see some good ball. It wasn't the best ball. And unfortunately for Jesse, it wasn't the best ball for his San Francisco 49ers either. They were the only team in the NFC West in action this past weekend, and they lose to a Houston Texans team that I don't quite know if anyone has figured out yet. We watched them against Brandon's Seahawks team just a week ago. That offense could not do anything. The Seahawks defense had completely stifled anything in the pass game, the run game. CJ Stroud didn't get anything going until late in the football game. It was the opposite in this one. C.J. Stroud balls out 30 of 39, 318, 2 touchdowns. That helped lead the Texans to a 26-15 victory at home, making the Niners now at 5-3 going into this upcoming weekend. On the outside looking in just a bit, because you have the other two teams at the top on a bye. So, Jesse, let's dive into it. Your Niners, based on the circumstances, right, all the injuries, not only at the quarterback, but especially on the defensive side of things, they've really found a way to put things together. It felt like in this one, at least offensively, had a really tough time putting points on the board consistently. And then on the defensive side of things, tough time stopping CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the 49ers had a great win against the Falcons just 2 weeks ago. This was an awful loss. The injuries at some point are catching up to the 49ers. I mean, they went into this one without Bryce Huff as well. Right now, currently, well, before the trade today, they had 2 healthy defensive ends, and they are absolutely depleted along that defensive line. Obviously, we know Fred Warner, Bosa, but Huff was out this game. He played against the Falcons. And the 49ers this year have been extremely inconsistent in some of the major categories that it's going to take to win, especially come playoff time. They can't consistently run the ball. They can't consistently stop the run. They can't consistently get after the quarterback, and they can't consistently force turnovers. That's not a recipe for a successful season. Now, fortunately, the 49ers have been extremely gritty. They've been in these games. They've won some games that maybe they shouldn't have because teams had some unforced errors, what have you. But they've stuck around. And so I look at this game against the Houston Texans and I say, hey, it wasn't the greatest performance, but I kind of throw that one out. And I throw out the Falcons win. And the 49ers are probably somewhere in between. I think they're going to be a gritty team. They're going to be a competitive team. They're going to be getting some good players back, and we'll see if they can ultimately make a run. But for 3 years now, I've been saying that this team needs to be carried by the offense, and I think that is ringing more true than ever this season, especially when Brock Purdy's back and Ayuk and Pearsall. You've got CMC and Kittle and Trent Williams. That side of the ball is much healthier than the defense. The offense is going to have to find a way to put up points and carry this team a little bit, and we'll see if they're able to do it down the stretch. But yeah, ultimately, listen, I think CJ Stroud's a really good quarterback. I think he's a pretty underrated quarterback. And as long as you give him time, much like Jared Goff, he's going to pick you apart. And that's exactly what happened in this game. It was death by 1,000 cuts. And then when you started getting comfortable and felt like you could start jumping underneath routes, that's when he goes over the top, makes a big play to Jalen Noel, and the rest was history. The 49ers just couldn't get anything going on offense. They had dumb penalties and stupid drops. And it was just a bad game overall. So hopefully they can bounce back this next week. But yeah, a loss when the other teams are on a bye, not ideal for sure.
What did you make of Christian McCaffrey in this game? Because when we're watching that Falcons game, it felt like, man, here's the Christian McCaffrey of old, right? This is what we've been waiting for, and you're giving him rep after rep, and he's capitalizing on it. On this game, really no ground game to speak from, and it just wasn't nearly what we saw just a week ago. So with all the injuries, you're hoping maybe you get the most out of Christian McCaffrey at this point, maybe more so than other times, just because of what you're dealing with, not wanting the other team to have the ball as much, the status quo here, basically, when you have all these injuries. So what did you make of the inability to kind of get him going the way that they were able to just a week ago?
I mean, really, that's the story of the season. You remove the Falcons game, Christian McCaffrey averages 3.1 yards per carry. Now, you add in the Falcons game, and that goes up 0.4, but 3.1 yards per carry, oddly enough, is exactly what he averaged in this game. Christian McCaffrey is a phenomenal receiving back. He is a difference maker for this team, but he certainly is not the Christian McCaffrey of old. And 3.1 yards per carry outside of that Falcons game, which brings that average up, that's where he's been all season long. He doesn't have that extra explosive gear that he had in 2023. So yeah, I mean, this is typical of what he's been all season long. Now, he didn't have the receiving yards that he normally has. And again, the offense just couldn't get going. You knew the game was going to be weird when you got 4 first downs to start the game, where it was like first down penalty, rerun the play, first down penalty, rerun the play, first down penalty again, rerun the play. And it's like, well, what is going on here, man? The 49ers ran 4 first down plays. They end up going 3 and out, but ran like 7 plays in totality. It was pretty crazy to start the game, and we should have known it was going to be weird then. Not only that, but the Texans' first drive, they hold the ball for 9 minutes. You couldn't get in rhythm the way that game started. And unfortunately, the 49ers might be in this position in a lot of weeks if a team can run the ball and play a little bit of dink and dunk the way that the Texans did, because the 49ers cannot run the ball with consistency. And when you can't run the ball with consistency, it's hard to hang on to the clock and win that clock battle. And this is unfortunately the risk that you run week in and week out.
And then lastly, with the defense, it was impressive what Robert Saleh was able to do against Bijan Robinson, Drake London. They really shut that offense down with a makeshift D. You go into this game, and we saw what CJ Stroud was against the Seahawks. And then in this game, it's vastly improved. When you're looking at this D with all the injuries, Robert Saleh's obviously got his work cut out for him. Did you see anything in this game in particular that has you concerned for the long haul, and maybe the fact that Atlanta might have been the aberration just based on the fact that they hadn't seen it coming, right? Robert Saleh kind of threw some different things in the mix, and now maybe that the injuries are kind of showing themselves a bit more here.
Yeah, well, the injuries are definitely going to show up. And one thing that I said after Fred Warner went down against Tampa, I said I'm not going to judge Robert Saleh based off of how well the defense plays. The way I'm going to judge Robert Saleh is how exotic he gets play in and play out. Is he putting his team in a position to go out and make a difference? One thing I felt like he could not do is sit and cover 3, 4, or 6 and just rush 4 and hope that he could get home, which is traditionally what he likes to do. It's what the 49ers prefer to do. But when you don't have Bosa, you don't have Fred Warner, those are things you cannot do. Against the Falcons, A++. I mean, he put his team in a position, exotic pressures. He was getting home with 4, getting free rushers with 3 and 4 rushers because of the blitz packages that he was showing. And ultimately, that's not at all what happened in this game until later. He sat back in soft zone coverage, rushed a straight 4, didn't do any simulated pressures. And it's like, well, what are you doing? I mean, if you did what you did last week against the Falcons, at least maybe you can confuse this offensive line and get to CJ Stroud. But if you're just going to straight rush 4 and sit in zone coverage, if you're going to pull the Pete Carroll special, then you're probably not going to win this one. You don't have the talent to do so. So ultimately, that's what he did for the first half of the game. The second half of the game, he kind of opened up the playbook a little bit more, and it looked slightly better. But by that point, it was too late. So Robert Saleh has to do more what he did against the Falcons going forward, I believe. And maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. But what's not going to work is trying to rush 4 when you don't have the talent and just sitting back in soft zone coverage. That's not going to get it done.
Well, luckily for San Francisco, they are facing what should be a solid bounce back spot this upcoming week against a Giants team that's super banged up. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, just a straight up curiosity, Jesse. I just had a question about obviously the Brock Purdy and the whole Mac Jones situation. I'm looking at the stats. And I wasn't able to see it, but I kind of curious to figure out what the fan base is saying right now when it comes down to the Mac Jones. Are they done? Because I know there was a portion that was going on that train, but then you go to the Texans, which we all thought you were gonna beat, but unfortunately that didn't happen. What is the fan base saying about the quarterback?
It's very split. I mean, there's the Purdy mites that are going to say he should play no matter what. Ultimately, they think that Mac Jones is the reason that they lost to the Texans. I don't know how you come to that conclusion. Mac Jones played fine. There was 5 or 6 drops, including a huge play to Juwan Jennings, 40-plus yards down the field. A huge penalty from Juwan Jennings to start the game out, which kind of put them behind the 8 ball. Listen, Mac Jones played fine. If Brock Purdy plays in that game, I still don't think that they win. But Brock Purdy's the starter. He should start. And I think most 49er fans agree with that. Really, the debate comes in, how much better is he? And is he worth being paid? And I think that's going to be a debate that we have for quite some time. But if Brock Purdy's healthy, he absolutely needs to be playing. And the way that I see it is Brock Purdy practiced all week last week. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but if he practices all week again this week, he definitely should play. Mac Jones has had a PCL sprain. He's had an oblique injury. He added a knee bone bruise this week. He's not healthier than Brock, yet he's going out there and playing. So, yeah, listen, you can't miss 7 games in a season after getting paid $53 million AAV. Sit back and watch your backup keep the season alive. Go out there and play, man.
What makes you think it might not be this week that he comes back? I've been hearing mixed things, but it seems like there's certainly an opportunity for him to come back this weekend, but you're not thinking it's going to be Sunday night or Sunday afternoon?
I mean, this is the 3rd week in a row where I think I've said that I think he is going to play. At this point, I have no idea, man. I really don't know what's going on. I mean, I get he wants to be healthy. I'm sure playing at MetLife is probably not ideal on that turf, but neither is coming back against the Rams. If your first game back is against the Rams, let's say Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Ayuk are back. You got George Kittle. You got Juwan Jennings. Mac Jones had none of those players, went to LA, beat the Rams. If you lose to the Rams with all those players, people are going to talk. I don't care what it looks like. Yeah. So I don't think that's ideal either. You should probably come back against the Giants, get your win, because it should be a game that you win, build some momentum, especially off of a Mac Jones loss, and kind of put this thing to rest. But if you let Mac Jones go out there and win again this week, which he probably will, and then you come back and lose to a Rams team that he beat with much less weapons, we're going to talk about it. So, I don't think that that's going to play into his psyche or the team psyche or anything like that, but it should.
That's a hell of a picture you just painted. When you put it like that, it really does feel like Brock Purdy should probably be out on the field this upcoming weekend. We'll see if he is. Either way, I would imagine the Niners are set up for their 6th W against the Giants, but it is any given Sunday. This is a prime spot, however, to bounce back. All right, that was the only game in the division this past week, and I still cannot get over the fact that they scheduled 3/4 of the division to have a bye in 1 week. And don't they know we have an NFC West Roundtable recap show to do? Clearly, they did not keep the fellas in mind, but maybe they did, because a couple of trades just went down that we get to talk about on the show. We had 2 trades, and they came from the 2 teams on the bottom of your screen. We'll talk about those. We'll also talk about 2 potential trades that could be made for the 2 teams on the top of your screen. But let's talk about what we've already seen go down, and that is with the LA Rams. We'll start there. The Los Angeles Rams have added a corner to the roster. They went out and got Roger McCreary from the Tennessee Titans. The trade includes a 2026 conditional 5th round pick. The Rams will receive a conditional 6th round pick along with McCreary. So, Jake, talk to me about this trade. 1, what do you think of the player? And then also, in addition, tell me why you think this particular move was made by the Rams prior to the deadline, which, by the way, is 1 week from today.
Yeah, I really like the move. Go out and get better. I called this kind of like going out, if you're like an MLB team and, you don't always have to make the biggest moves. Sometimes you're just missing that one piece in your bullpen. This is kind of that move. This is a touch-up piece. Roger McCreary is a starting caliber corner that has inside-outside versatility. I understand Titans fans will probably be pissed I said that because they'll be like, there's no way he can play on the outside. He can. He's had success. He also struggled. I think they pulled him way too early in his career, but I would say this is a really good pickup. The versatility is another chess piece for Chris Shula's defense. The physicality is, exactly what the Rams want. Somebody that can blitz and actually finish with a sack. And, he's a good tackler and can help in run support. Ironically, the trade is going to involve the Titans taking back their pick that the Rams acquired for Ernest Jones. So there was already a little bit of a connection there with the Titans. But I think this makes a lot of sense because first, Les Snead, he likes his Auburn Tigers. He follows them well. He has a lot of connections in that program. And they liked McCreary when he came out of Auburn. So this is somebody that they clearly liked during the draft process and probably were interested in this offseason. And now he becomes available. They get a deal done. I don't know what the Titans are really doing because they also traded away, the kid out of Louisville, Brownlee, who's on the Jets and playing well. But I think for the Rams, this makes a lot of sense because Akello's out and Darius Williams is dealing with an injury. So he will likely be ready to go against the 49ers, but won't play this week in all likelihood. So you're down to Emmanuel Forbes, you're down to Kobe Durant, and they just cut Trey Brown. So McCreary's going to slide right in there as number 3. And they want to kind of use a rotation. So McCreary's going to get an opportunity on this team. And this is the first time the Rams had made a trade around the trade deadline since the year they won the Super Bowl when they went out and got Von Miller. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make another move. I honestly think they should.
Well, I guess I'll piggyback off of that then. If you do think they make another move defensively or offensively, are they going to kind of go with the thing they've already kind of shown here and stick on that side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball?
I'm going to say offensively. I think their defense is set. I mean, I think their offense is set. I still think this is the team to beat. But that said, they lost Tutu Atwell this weekend, or rather last weekend. He was gutting out a hamstring injury. And, I don't really know why because they were dominating the Jaguars, but he re-injured his hamstring. And now they're going to be without him for a month. And you asked Jesse at the game that we were at how important Tutu Atwell was for that comeback. So you're losing a really explosive player. So my eyes tend to go towards, the Rams have 9 picks to play with. They could go out and get somebody big. And honestly, I believe that's what they should do. I think they should go after Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know if he is available, to be honest with you, but that is what I would do. That said, I think Rashid Shaheed makes a lot of sense. I also think if the Raiders are serious about trading Trey Tucker, I think he makes a lot of sense as well because you're going to be without that explosive weapon for at least a month, maybe even longer with Tutu Atwell. And I do think, even though I'm very high on everybody on this team, I'm very high on their roster, and I'm very high on this offense. And, they have Konate Mumfield, who I'm also very high on, as well as Jordan Whittington. I think this is the year. You got to strike while the iron's hot. And if you feel like Tutu Atwell is a significant loss that, these guys can fill the role, but can they fill it and add that much, explosiveness? And are you going to be missing that? If you are, I think Shaheed, who you'd only owe, I think $1.6 million the rest of the year to from the Saints, or, Trey Tucker with the Raiders would make a lot of sense. So that's where I'm at on that. I would go to BTJ. That's personally what I would do. And I wouldn't be afraid to give up one of my first round picks to get him because I don't like this draft for quarterback.
I couldn't agree more. My Bills have been linked to him. And my first thought, Jake, was why are they getting rid of him? Well, why is Jacksonville looking to move off of them if they actually are? That's when that isn't quite adding up to me,
The whole regime change, man. Like we were just talking about this off air with Vrabel. That you can actually, if you pay attention, that's why I feel like anybody that is a decent team should be buying at every deadline because you'll always find a team that is coming off a regime change and they're getting rid of good players on the cheap.
it feels like maybe it's hey, listen, we just traded the farm for Travis Hunter and we want to feature him more. So let's just get rid of Brian Thomas. I have no idea.
I think that's what it could be. My one concern, to be fair, if they were to get rid of him, it's the soft tissue stuff. So maybe that's kind of like, okay, we don't love his durability. Maybe that's a question for them. I could see that. But I mean, personally, I don't know why you would trade him. He's under control until 2029. My bad. That's a baseball term. But anyway, the point being is that he won't be a free agent until 2029. You have the 5th-year option. You have the explosive big playability, and he's cost effective. I keep seeing people mention Jalen Waddle, and I'll probably bring him up on my channel, but Jalen Waddle, you're going to have to pay him that awful contract that the Dolphins structured. Now, I'm not saying he's not worth the deal. I'm saying the Rams, the Bills, whoever, have a certain way of orchestrating contracts. When you trade for a player, you are getting the contract and how it was basically orchestrated by this team. And I'll tell you right now, I don't want anything to do with Chris Greer's contracts.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they wind up making another move. I'm going to be really interested to see if the Jacksonville Jaguars decide to move off of BTR there, or BT Jr., just because I don't get it, really. And it's not a team that it looks terrible enough to where you're going to be selling to a point where you'd want to get rid of a top guy like that.
Yeah.
But we'll keep an eye out. Well, speaking of moves, by the way, the Rams weren't the only one to make a move on the defensive side of the ball. Jesse, your 49ers got active as well. They make a trade with the New England Patriots. The Patriots send defensive end Keon White to the 49ers. New England will get a 2026 6th-round pick for a 2026 7th-rounder and White. So it's interesting. We talked last week as to whether or not the 49ers might be a buyer or a seller, depending on how they view the season moving forward here. So we don't know what's to come within the next week, but as of right now, they're buyers. So what do you make of this move for San Francisco? What does this mean moving forward here?
Well, first of all, my heart skipped a beat when you said Rashid Shaheed to the Rams. If that happens, that's the one that scares the piss out of me, because he can take the top off of a defense at any time. You add him to those receivers and Puka and Devontae Adams, that's absolutely terrifying. So no to that one, and I could see that one happening.
I thought you didn't like it, so I wasn't.
No,
I'm
dude. Listen.
Okay.
That's the scariest thing. That the Brian Thomas. Listen, Brian Thomas Jr. is a good, especially for the future if you're trying to build around it. But like the way that this team is constructed now, adding Rashid Shaheed is absolutely terrifying. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, when I look at the 49ers trade for Keon White, I love the trade. I had just made a short or a TikTok, whatever, right before they made the trade. And I said, listen, I don't think the 49ers are going to be in on a Kayvon Thibodeau or somebody like that, just because I don't think that they're going to be willing to part with a pick within the first 4 rounds. I think their 5th round or later is what they're going to be looking at. This ended up being a pick swap, which you always love. You trade a 6th rounder, you get the player in the 7th round pick. And you get a guy who was talented coming out of a draft a couple years ago, was a 2nd round pick. He's a bigger defensive end. He's not super bendy. He's not a speed guy. But I envision the 49ers at their best. First of all, he's under contract through next year, which is nice. But I think the 49ers at their best in the future have Bosa on one end, they have Huff on the other. 3rd down, you have Williams, and then you have White rushing from the middle. And I think that that's a package that you can get home with. So ultimately, I do like the trade. They only had 2 healthy defensive ends. I believe that they are probably in. Maybe they still are on a guy like Mazzie Smith. I do think that they called the Jets about McDonald and Johnson. Ultimately, those guys are probably going to go for more than like a 5th round pick. So they just weren't able to pry him away. I know that they just add Cleveland Farrell back to their practice squad. So, they are trying to add some more bodies for sure. But I think this is the right move. You get a young player who Chris Kasarik can try to develop. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it turns into a Charles Omenihu type of player or an Arden Key. He's done this a few times over. Nothing special, but a guy that can certainly contribute. You're not giving up major future assets. So I like the trade. There's just, you're not losing much with it. You're taking a flyer on a guy who was talented and was a high draft pick a couple years ago, and we'll see what happens with it.
And he was their best pass rusher last year.
Yeah, he was. I mean, to be fair, there was nobody else on that defense.
But
I
like the move for you guys. Like as a football fan,
I do too.
I really do like it.
It makes sense. And again, it's low risk, high reward is the way that I see it. I have 0 issue with it. Yeah.
Let's hear from these two handsome gentlemen on the top of your screen. It's been far too long. They're bored. They're thinking about what's coming after the bye and what could be coming down the pipe here. Could be a potential trade in the mix. A week once again from today is the trade deadline. Brandon, I want to start with you because right now your Seattle Seahawks, they are at the top of the division. They're 5-2, and I would argue they're primed to get another W this upcoming week. The way the Commanders have looked. We'll talk about that, of course, in a little bit here, but this is a team that's really hitting stride right now. They're grooving, and they're currently at the top. Is there anything you look at right now that you think if the Seahawks go and do this within the next week, they could take them from where they're at right now to maybe another level that unlocks the ability to really go the distance in 2025? Or is there maybe somebody you think you move off of and kind of secure maybe an asset for down the line to make this team even better in the near future here?
I definitely don't think you're in a position at this point to be in sell mode whatsoever, and that you are going to look to try to upgrade where you can. But the key here is where you can and what is available. The pool is tiny. This is smaller than a little child's pool out in the front yard that you've inflated. There's very few guys you can go get right now. And so we have few positions really we could look to upgrade. Our whole defense is going to be healthy and return for the first time after the bye. Offensively, everybody's holding the line pretty well, aside from Anthony Bradford, who is kind of playing right around the close to the bottom of the barrel for the position right now. So there's your immediate point to where you could upgrade. A problem being nobody's giving out any right guards, and at the best of times in the off season before free agency. So you're left going, okay, was there anything there? And the one guy I come to, or the two guys I come to, are Wyatt Teller with the Cleveland Browns and then Zeitler with the Tennessee Titans. Both of those guys have been around the block. I think you could get them acclimated in the system relatively quickly, and the baseline is not particularly low that they've got to clear in order to get you better performance. And I think that would help things mightily across the board, because it's always said your offensive line is not, measured by its greatest asset or the most dominating factor. It's measured by your weakest link. And our weakest link right now is pretty bad.
Yeah, if that can shore up. I mean, we talked about how complete this team is. If that can wind up getting shored up a little bit, it really does feel like the Seahawks, who are right now really playing like one of the better teams in the NFL, they can take another step forward, really cause some havoc in the NFC. Mike, let's look at your side of things here with the Arizona Cardinals. 2-5, playing Dallas on Monday night. I mean, that's a team that can score, sure, but I would imagine the Arizona Cardinals should be able to put up 30 plus the way this defense is playing. So anything could go down on Monday night. But before Tuesday, what do you think Arizona does, if anything? And are you leaning maybe towards this team right now being at the bottom of the division, maybe moving off a guy or two? And if so, who do you think that might be?
Yeah, I mean, this team is so interesting. We lose 5 straight games with 13 points. Whenever you're hearing anybody talking within the organization, they still feel like they're in it. Now, it sucks that everybody in this division is 5-2 and we're 2-5. But when you're looking at the amount of games left, we got 10 games left. I mean, technically, you're not mathematically out yet. But this is such a fascinating topic because I think it really just depends on what happens here on Monday Night Football. If the Cardinals somehow beat the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night, which Kyler Murray has had a very, very good record at AT&T Stadium, and I believe he's 2-0 against the Dallas Cowboys when he's played them. But you just never know what's going to happen for the Cardinals. Now, I would love the Cardinals to potentially be, buyers and potentially sellers, but I can see either or. I can see them be both as well. Now, I really wanted Monty Allsuport to do something before the season kind of got awry, and now we're kind of sitting here because we've been dealing with the whole run game or lack of run game since James Conner was healthy. And unfortunately, Trey Benson, once he got the opportunity to be that dog for us, he got hurt as well, and he landed himself on the IR. But the Cardinals are getting healthy right now. I don't know if you guys heard about B.J. Ojulari is finally coming back. We all thought he was a myth at one point. It's like, what the hell, the Mandela effect? What's going on with B.J. Ojulari? We haven't heard from him in a very long time, and now we heard that this coming Thursday, the window's going to open up for him. Garrett Williams is supposed to be having a 21-day window, and I believe Walter Nolan, 16th overall pick, Jake's and Brandon's favorite on here, that he's going to be hopefully making his debut here on Monday Night Football versus the Dallas Cowboys. But when I'm looking at the trade deadline, I'm looking at the running back, man. I feel like if we somehow shore up that run game, and I don't think it's going to be you get a player, you're going to fix your run game. No, there's a lot of things that have to take into account here. But I would love the Arizona Cardinals to go after a Breece Hall. Now, I know for the people out there saying, "Oh, you're 2-5. Why would you do that?" Well, I mean, we got 2026, 2027 as well. The Cardinals right now, they are in these games. The only game we were quote unquote blown out by, and it didn't really show that way at the end of the game, was the Seahawks game. But other than that, we stood toe to toe with the Colts, we stood toe to toe with the Green Bay Packers, and those are Super Bowl favorites, or those are playoff team favorites, right? So I think the Arizona Cardinals are potentially a player or two away. Now, can they be sellers as well? Yeah, they can. Unfortunately, we got a guy named Calais Campbell that some people are kind of already potentially saying that he might get traded away if the Cardinals season goes awry, which, let's be right, it's kind of awry right now. But him, maybe Budda Baker's always been kind of in conversation whenever the trade deadline comes around. So if the Cardinals are sellers, maybe look for names like that where the Cardinals are offloading maybe big contracts or guys that are older, maybe seeking a better opportunity. But if the Cardinals are buyers, man, I would love a running back. And I'm still on the whole Jacoby Myers train. If the Cardinals can somehow swing that, I feel like that would be amazing for the Cardinals.
Well, it'll be interesting, right? Especially if they end up winning on Monday night. Should they, then maybe they make a move, but they're going to have to do it prior, of course, right? Because you're going into Tuesday unless it's completely last minute. But luckily for us, we're going to be live with you next Tuesday. So anything that goes down, whether it's significant, insignificant, anything in between, we're going to have it for you on the NFC West Roundtable. Also, luckily for us, by the way, moving into next week, we have the entire division back in action. Thank God. I even found myself, after my Bills laid it down on those Carolina Panthers, I even found myself saying, I need a little NFC West football in my life. What am I going to talk about on Tuesday? Well, we made it to the point in the show where we're going to talk about what we're going to see this upcoming week as we have a full slate within the division. But before we dive into it, let's dive into some picks and props over on RotoWire. They got you covered from head to toe, setting you up for all of the best insight on your picks over on Sleeper and all of your other favorite sites. They give you insights to let you know which way to lean, whether it be more or less on your favorite players' props. So they're leaning on the more for Travis Kelce against my Buffalo Bills. As I was saying this, I'm realizing what I'm actually saying. And apparently, RotoWire thinks Travis Kelce's set to have a day against my Bills. I would probably back that up because he certainly has had a game or two against my Buffalo Bills. He certainly had a game against the Washington Commanders on Monday night. That looked like the Travis Kelce of old. So RotoWire thinking a big day from Kelce against the Bills, hopefully not big enough to get the W. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, RotoWire thinking maybe fade Devon Achane on Thursday night. They might want to be throwing the football against the Baltimore Ravens defense. Lamar Jackson's back, so it could be a shootout type game. They're leaning, maybe going less than 63.5 rush yards for Devon Achane. So the picks and props tool, it's awesome. One of the best aspects of RotoWire's premium features, and there are a ton of features. Take advantage of all of them via the link in the description below. Click that, sign up, then use the promo code RTS, and that will get you 15% off a premium subscription from RotoWire. Now, speaking of sleepers, speaking of Thursday night football, like I said, Lamar Jackson should be back, fellas. I mean, last time we heard this, the NFL, they got in some hot water. And the Baltimore Ravens got in some hot water, so we'll see what ends up happening there. But in all likelihood, we will see Lamar Jackson against TD's Miami Dolphins in a massive bottom of the AFC showdown on Thursday Night Football. And over on Sleeper, I've crafted up a quick slip for you to root for, or, of course, create your own for Thursday Night Football. But mine contains Lamar Jackson with the free pick, more than a half yard. Derrick Henry to get in the end zone against one of the poorer rushing defenses in the NFL. And then Jalen Waddle to have more than 61.5 receiving yards. That's good for a 3x multiplier. If you want to tell that one or create your own, link in the description below. Click that and sign up for Sleeper. Once you do, you will get a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit using the promo code RTS. And before you even make your first deposit, you'll be able to check out Sleeper completely free. You click it, you download it, you create an account, boom. You have a free $20 to use on Thursday Night Football or any other sport. I mean, last night would have been perfect. It was the sports equinox last night, but still plenty of opportunities down the pipeline, including Week 9, NBA, NHL. You can do it all on Sleeper. Link in the description below. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. All right, Week 8 has come and gone. We were counting on Jesse's Niners. They could not get it done for the pride of the NFC West. But this upcoming week, we'll see who ends up getting it done within the division. We're going to turn the page from Week 8 to Week 9. And let's start with those San Francisco 49ers who were in action this past weekend. They will be back in action this upcoming weekend against the New York Giants. And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. This is a bounce back opportunity for San Francisco. They're going up against a Giants team that just suffered a litany of injuries this past weekend, including their starting running back, Cam Scadaboo. So now you're looking at Jackson Dart. He's surrounded by basically nothing at this point. Malik Neighbors already out for the year. Scadaboo now gone. And it really feels like that loss to Denver was demoralizing, and they're still reeling. So maybe they're going to continue to reel going into this one. Maybe the Niners can capitalize. Jake, I'll start with you here. Niners 5-3, looking to get to 6-3 against the 2-6 Giants. Do they on Sunday, and why?
I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I understand, that is a brutal loss against a Texans team that has the worst offensive line you'll ever see. But I think the 49ers are going to be okay. They're going to bounce back this week against the Giants. I think the Giants lost some of their heart when, maybe I'm overreacting, but when Cam Scadaboo went down, I feel like he was kind of the heart and soul of that Giants kind of, revitalized offense. And I think Tyrone Tracy is probably a better player, but I just think Cam Scadaboo meant so much to that offense. So we're going to see what ends up happening. They already lost Malik Neighbors. So they'll be down him. They did, get back Darius Slayton, who should have had a touchdown, but that's neither here nor there. I think the 49ers are going to win this game 24-14, a little ugly. I don't really feel like the 49ers have really been able to score a ton of points this year. It feels like, except for the Rams game. But I think it's going to be 24-14. I think the 49ers go into MetLife Stadium and win in those cursed field conditions. Yeah. Hopefully nobody gets injured, because I feel like every time the 49ers go out to MetLife, somebody gets, I know Bosa got hurt on that field. So yeah.
Like you mentioned, it feels like every team has a player who's somewhat been injured on that field at one point or another. I saw a few super chats, by the way, referencing that. So I guess we'll touch on that in just a little bit, but you make a great point about Scadaboo. When you couple in allowing 33 points in one quarter and then losing what felt like really the heart and soul of your team. Cam Scadaboo was starting to become like the heart and soul of the NFL in some aspects. Yeah. You saw the Eagles fans give him a standing O at the Link, and we know that it's one of the tougher places to play. Yeah. Everybody loves Cam Scadaboo. So tough to see him go down the way that he did. They're going to try to bounce back without his presence. Brandon, will they be able to do so this upcoming weekend against the Niners, or will the Niners get to 6-3 when the day's over?
No, I think the Niners are going to get to 6-3. I think that Jake and you just captured very well what's a little bit at the head of this. And I can attest to seeing the way a guy like Marshawn Lynch came to our team with that same kind of running style, and how that can not only ignite an offense, but it can get a defense playing a little bit harder too, in an odd kind of way. I don't have an explanation for it. It's just something you can kind of feel. And his loss, I think, is going to be huge when you pair it with the fact that Malik Neighbors is already down on that offense. I think you're going to see Mac be able to cut, or if it's Brock out there, whoever it is, they'll be able to probably cut into this defense pretty well with throwing the ball where they want, when they want. The key to this really comes down to two factors for the Niners for me. And that is, last week you had some issues with the edge rushers there, specifically Will Anderson really getting after it. This week it doesn't get kind of any easier with Burns and with Thibodeau, and then you've got Dexter down there on the inside. How well they deal with that, with the fact I expect them to be pretty pass happy because they just haven't run the ball particularly well. And then the combination factor, I think Jesse will attest to this, that sometimes the Niners in recent years have had issues with mobile quarterbacks, or specifically quarterbacks that are going to use their legs when dropping back to pass off improvisation. And that's something that I think we're going to see Jackson Dart do a lot of this upcoming game. All that being said, I think the Niners still take this 24-21.
2 for 2 on the Niners. Mike, are you making it a hat trick? San Francisco on the road at New York. Are they getting it done Sunday?
Yeah, I want to just chime in real quick on the Cam Scadaboo situation. He is as advertised, man. We had him here in ASU, and he was a spark plug, man. It's so fun to watch what he was doing in ASU, and the Cardinal fans wanted us to draft him. But this year, man, he looked really good. And it's really unfortunate. I liked what, Scadaboo as well as Jackson Dart has been doing for that organization, but it's too much, man. It's too much to overcome. I like Dart, and I think his career is going to be really good here in the NFL, but it's too early right now. The 49ers are trying to bounce back from what just happened versus the Texans, which they probably feel like that's a game that kind of got away from them. So I do think that they're going to win this game 31-17. I got the Niners winning this game.
3 for 3. Jesse, you're coming off of a loss here, maybe one that you weren't expecting. I know everybody here for the most part thought the Niners were going to win. They're right back on the train. They think they dominate the Giants this upcoming weekend. Do you think the same here in week 9?
Yeah, I don't know that we dominate the Giants. I mean, one thing to pay attention to, and the 49ers just had this same exact thing happen where they're playing in the 10 a.m. Pacific time slot again. So you travel to Houston, travel all the way back to Santa Clara. Now you're going all the way back out to New York and you're playing in that early time slot. That's usually rough for a West Coast team, and they're doing it 2 weeks in a row. That's an awful lot of travel as well. So when I look at that, I think this game's going to be tight. I think the Giants, even though they're 2-6, yes, they may have had their hearts broken against Denver. They lost Cam Scatterboo, but you've also seen teams, especially young teams that don't know any better, they kind of use this as motivation. And I could see a situation like that as well. I think this is going to be close. I do think the 49ers ultimately get it done. Let's go 23-17 Niners.
Clean sweep for the Niners. All the fellas thinking that the 49ers are going to be 6-3 by week 9's end. Let's move to the late afternoon window. The LA Rams coming off the bye, looking to dominate a team that they should be set up to do so at home. The New Orleans Saints, who are going to be trotting out Tyler Shuck for his first ever NFL start on Sunday afternoon. Just hit me, by the way. Once again, another week where every time slot is filled. We got a 1, we got a 4, we got a Sunday nighter and a Monday nighter. Jake, your Rams, they're in the late afternoon window in this one. Not entirely sure outside of the time zone why this would be the late afternoon game. I guess I'm so used on the East Coast, just bad games being won. Then it hits me. Yeah, not everybody's on the East Coast, including you guys. So, but anyway, the Rams 5-2 taking on the Saints 1-7. We saw Spencer Rattler this past weekend get benched. Tyler Shuck comes in. He's going to be the starter this upcoming weekend, and he's got to go against Sean McVay and one of the better teams in the NFL. Not an easy gig to draw in your first start. Mike, I'll come back to you. Start with you. Could be a rough one for the Saints. Do you think it's going to be a rough one for the Saints?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a very rough one for the Saints. What a way to throw your young rookie quarterback. But I mean, this is what they got. I mean, this is what they got going for them. So, I mean, they're going to try to see what they have for the quarterbacks. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I've mentioned this before, the NFC West is a very, very good division. And we're going to see it here on display. I think the Rams are coming in here and they're going to be coming in very hot and they're going to win this game. It's not going to be a close one. I think it's actually going to be kind of unfortunate for the Saints. I'm going to say 27-6 or something like that. That's going to be like 2 field goals they're going to get. So yeah, I got the Rams winning this game.
6 points for Shuck in his debut. Brandon, you thinking something similar here, or could the Saints shock the world on Sunday afternoon?
No, Jake's going to try to sell us on the fact the Rams don't blow anybody out, but that's exactly what they're going to do in this upcoming game, and they're just going to stomp the Saints 7 ways from Sunday. This is a Saints team that's already at the best of times of the season when they're trying to fight, has failed pretty miserably. You got to feel like with the trade rumors that are swirling around the team right now, and then you're throwing out Tyler Shuck, who's supposed to be this game-ready quarterback coming out of college because he's like 28 years old, but he's not game-ready. This guy's going to see more see more specters out there than freaking ghost hunters. It's going to be crazy. I think that you're going to see like 3 interceptions, and they probably end up going back to Rattler at some point in this game. So 34-10, easy money, easy day of work for the Rams. That defense absolutely just makes that kid go into his little shell by the end of the game.
I was kind of shocked to see Rattler benched, and it wasn't like he was playing all that bad in that game, but they make the move, and this is going to be Tyler Shuck's team, at least for this upcoming week. Brandon low-key threw in there maybe another benching for the Saints this upcoming week. So craziness in that quarterback room.
That's the NFL, by the way.
I know. It totally is.
I hated that Rattler got benched, but it literally goes to show you. It's like if you're not drafted on day 2 or you're not a first-round pick, you have literally no room for error.
Yep.
I hate it.
And they're throwing him out there to do this sort of first look-see thing to decide if they then should draft a quarterback in the first round, which just, again, you're taking nothing into account about what's good for Tyler Shuck. I know he's a little bit like I joke about him being a little bit older, but still he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Maybe in this environment you don't do that, but this is the way the NFL works.
Yep.
It is indeed. And the way it works is this shouldn't work very well, Jesse, for the Saints. I mean, let's be honest here. Do you think there's a possibility New Orleans finds a way to win on the road here against the Rams?
Well, first of all, Spencer Rattler is probably going to be the next reclamation project for Sean McVay here in another year anyway, so maybe that's going to happen. But listen, no, I don't think that the Saints have any chance. I'll keep it simple, 31-13 Rams.
Are you ready to add Spencer Rattler to the ever-growing list on the quarterback hierarchy in the NFC West? Because I'm so ready. I am absolutely
Sign
ready.
me the hell up, man. I'm a big Spencer Rattler fan. I was defending him earlier, but I did call that he would struggle against Seattle when he went to Seattle. But he played 5 out of how many games have they've had like 8, right?
Yep.
So he's had 5 decent games. He had the bad game against Seattle, and then the bad game recently, and now they just benched him. And I don't know. I didn't like that because I thought that they were one of those teams. They're kind of like a sneaky bad team. If you are not on your A game, you still can beat them. But I mean, if you have a really bad game, you can't just beat them because they're bad. They stick around, and that was the thing. They didn't do it against Tampa, but they did against Arizona. They did against the 49ers. This team just kind of sticks in the rearview mirror and doesn't really go away until the end. And then now, as of late, they have. And I thought Shuck made some good throws, when he came in. I'm not going to, sit here and say that he's a joke or anything, but no, I think the Rams are going to win this game 34-13. I think when you look at this, I understand, Brandon, you're like, yeah, you're going to sell us so they don't blow teams out. To be fair, that was before the Jaguars game. So I don't know what the hell came over Sean McVay and company, but I'm going to pick them to blow this team out. I think this is just a bad organization, and I think they're telling us how bad they are by throwing Shuck in his first actual start against this Rams defense on the road at SoFi. I think that's awful, truthfully. And I think the Rams, really the only hope for the Saints is that the Rams come out and they just absolutely they look dead. And I just don't see that. So I think this bye week is going to be really good for them. I'm excited to see new Ram Roger McCreary. So 34-13 Rams.
You said bye week, and I wasn't even thinking about the Rams coming off the bye. I just thought you were insinuating this is bye part 2, and it very well could be the way everybody's kind of making this game out to be.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started, Z-Bot. There are already people like, oh, it's a trap game. They're going to overlook the Saints on the 49ers. It's like, listen to Sean McVay, like when they asked him the other day, they're like, yeah, are you like, do you have any games that are, he's like, I don't know who we're playing after the Saints. Like you could tell he wasn't bullshitting. They don't have that mentality. Maybe other teams in the NFL do. I don't think there's at least 80% of the league that does not look ahead. At least 80%. That's not a thing. It's a fan thing. It is not when you only have a week of preparation for each game. They're not looking ahead. They're just not.
I don't usually buy that. He's one of those guys I'd buy it with. Him and probably Jim Harbaugh that I would buy. If they told you I got no clue, I'd put it on my mother's life. I don't know who we're playing next week. I'd believe him.
Andy Reid. Andy Reid's a very week by week guy.
I think Jake's right on this, but I think it's way more than the do it this way than don't, because this is a whole psychological thing they've been trained on. It's like the whole thing of where you take every game the same way, like Carroll used to do, this championship opportunity every single week. Like it's because they're trying to hyper focus them in and week out versus getting a little bit in the malaise of things through a season, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think it's also like you're still playing an NFL team. Like we look at the Saints and we're like, oh, the Saints are ass, right? But then you get into the trenches, you're like, yeah, we're going and playing professional.
Don't tell Sean McVay that on his coach's show. He always said, yeah, we're playing a really good Saints football team. It's like, come on.
He's as good as he gets in every facet. He really is.
Although he said it the year 2020. The last time the Rams had, they were favored by this many points was against the Jets, and they lost that game. And going into that game, he's like, I understand people don't think the Jets are a good team. I actually think they're a very good team. They've had some unfortunate circumstances, and then they ended up beating the Rams. So, yeah, McVay literally came out and was like, no, I think the Jets are a lot better than their record would indicate. And, yeah.
Speaking of the Jets, anybody can be good if you're playing that Cincinnati defense. Holy cow.
That was
something else.
I can't even. I was at a wedding and I looked and they were down by 14 and then they won. And I'm like,
wait a minute, wedding Sunday afternoon? I'm guessing we got a couple of non-ball knowers getting
felony. Non-ball.
Oh,
at least they're
Giants fans, so I'll give them a pass.
Good call, Jesse. It was on your bye week. How lucky did you get, man? That's pretty sick.
Oh man, yeah, I definitely got lucky there.
If it was a no bye week, I'd be the guy, unfortunately, where my wife's be punching me in the leg because I got the iPhone set up on the thing and I'm not paying attention. So you lucked out on the bye week.
I did. Not last year. I had one, the Packers game. I saw her get married and then I left.
You got to do. You're a professional.
I got to work, man. I got to work.
Exactly right. You're a professional. All right, let's go to Sunday Night Football. And I think when this one was scheduled, you looked at it and you're thinking maybe this is scheduled because we get to see Jaden Daniels and this Commanders team in primetime coming off the NFC Championship. I don't know if everybody would have predicted that going into week 9, it's flipped right now. Seriously, you have the Seattle Seahawks far more in contention for a trip to the championship weekend than that of the Washington Commanders, who are really taking a step back where they've lost 3 straight. They've lost 4 of 5. Jaden Daniels banged up. This whole roster is really banged up, and they are struggling on both sides of the football. They got waxed by the Kansas City Chiefs in the second half in particular. It was 7-7 at half. They just couldn't move the ball, and then finally Kansas City turned it on. They dominated. Meanwhile, you got Seattle coming off of a bye. So even though it's on the road, it's against a team that's reeling. In Seattle, they're healthy coming off the bye, well-rested, ready to rock. Jesse, I'll start with you. Seattle looking to maintain their spot at the top of the division and go 6-2. Will they do so on Sunday Night Football?
Well, if you got Sunday Night Football, then we should probably hear the theme song. Listen, Washington is in shambles right now. I don't think they have any chance in this game. I just think Seattle's a really, really good football team. That defense is absolutely humming. They are coming off of a bye week, and Washington overperformed last year. I mean, that's just what it was, bottom line. They've had a lot of injuries. I think their defense is really struggling this year. I don't see them stopping Sam Darnold and company. I mean, he's the best quarterback in the league, I hear. So listen, I will take the Seattle Seahawks to win this one 27-20.
27-20, says Jesse. Got the Hawks winning it on Sunday Night Football. Mike, what do you think in this one? Can the Commanders find a way to get things going? It's going to be tough against a defense like this, and especially with the offense playing the way Seattle has been recently.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough game to pick because, I like the story of the Commanders. I really did. I like that Jaden Daniels came in and kind of like took the world by storm. And then, injury play kind of ended up happening this year. And then just they haven't looked very good offensively. I'm not sure if that's a Cliff Kingsbury effect or anything like that. But I don't know, man. I look at this like the defenses on both sides. And I feel like the Seattle Seahawks have such a better defense. And on top of that, they can score points. And I look at the Commanders over there and I don't know. I don't have a way to pick the Commanders here, although Jaden Daniels most likely is trying to come back. And then it's not just Jaden too. You also had Terry McLaurin as well, like dealing with some injuries as well. Deebo Samuel had some boneheaded things ended up happening in this last game. Ball completely bounced out of his hand and into the defender's hand. It's a mess. I don't think the Commanders are going to be able to find a way to win this game. If I'm going to be real, I'm going to say the Seahawks win this game, but I'm not going to say it's a blowout. It's going to be a respectable game. I would say 21-14 Seahawks.
Respectability. That's what Mike's valuing on Sunday night. And he's also got a Brandon and Seahawk W coming to Seattle. They're 6th to be 6-2, really starting to make a push into the second half of the season. Jake, are you in agreement with the fellas on the left here? Do you think Seattle gets it done against Washington on Sunday night?
I do. And I wanted to ask you guys, does anybody know when the flex scheduling comes into play? Because why is this not getting flex scheduled?
They're not taking Sammy Darnold out of prime time. That we have.
I mean, that's fair.
Right.
That's fair. Seattle's fun to watch, but
the eyeballs on that one.
How many freaking primetime games am I gonna have to watch the Commanders getting butt whooped?
Yeah.
I mean, it's every freaking week.
I know.
Are we kidding ourselves? All right, 20-7. Give me Seattle.
Wow.
I'd probably go more if it was in Seattle, but yeah, I'm gonna go 20-7. Right now, Commanders were a good story last year, and I was on top of them as my sleeper team. But this year, I felt like they were the prime candidate to take a step back, and the sophomore slump that I just felt like was inevitable. And really, it's been the offensive line injuries. And if you want to look at anything, obviously, everyone would tell you about Daniels and Terry McLaurin, and that's fair. But I think losing Dorrance Armstrong Jr. keeps them completely out of the playoff race. Like, I don't think they can come back from this. They don't have a closer coming off the edge. So I don't think this is one of those things where they're going to get themselves out of this hole. I think they're done. And I think we see that this Sunday.
Speaking of the flex scheduling, it's already allowed to happen. Apparently, it started in week 5, and then after week 10, it can happen any weekend. But the rights only allow you 2 flexes starting from week 5. So, to my knowledge, there hasn't been one used yet. I'm guessing we're going to start to be seeing more and more of this be used in the coming weeks here. But Brandon, for now, they ain't taking these Hawks out of prime time. We are gonna watch a show. This team, I've said it multiple times.
Bills Chiefs, like just total miss the layup.
CBS refuses to get rid of the rights.
I know.
There's no way. CBS, you'd have to literally. I mean, you'd have to.
Guess who has the late game? Late four game next week. The Commanders.
America's game of the week. Nah, I can't wait.
Against the Lions. Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll look a little better if they can find a way to beat Seattle, although I don't think they're going to. Brandon, listen, I know they're not playing the best right now, but Seattle is, and we get to watch them in prime time. That's why we're going to be tuning in. When we tune in, are we going to see your Seattle Seahawks get it done over the Washington Commanders?
I really do think we are. Well, we're returning everybody back onto this team in full. You have a really good potential of having every one of the offensive and defensive starters that you had hoped to have coming into this season back for this football game, and that's with the defense already humming the past couple of weeks. The offensive line's got issues there with Washington. Everybody's blitzing him at a high rate. I think we're going to dial that back up again. We don't know if we're getting Jaden Daniels even at this point, or how much close to 100% he's going to be if he does play. As we're hearing reports, they may be careful of him with a little bit of the shadow of a Robert Griffin kind of injury happening in years past to a grade A kind of quarterback like this that they weren't careful with. We'll see how that comes in on this game to maybe factor in. I think Jake brings up a great point about Doris Armstrong being out. That was a real big part of their pass rush coming off the edge. And they don't have another answer there outside of that. They've got some decent guys inside, but outside they don't. I just don't think they're going to be able to mount the kind of pass rush. And I think defensively, we're going to get after, whether it's a lame Jaden Daniels or a Marcus Mariota, who looked last week, like you can definitely kind of put him in a box a little bit in the way you play him. So I think the Seahawks run away with this one. 24-13, not quite a blowout, but a comfortable win at that.
All right, so we have basically, I think we have clean sweeps across the board all the way up until this point. So we're spread out in week 9 in all of the different slots, but we are not expecting anything crazy. Maybe we are on Monday night. Let's go to Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. I sing that one because it's a lot easier to do. Thank you.
Let's go.
There it is. Monday Night Football. Speaking of teams that are in primetime every single week, here come the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football, taking on Mike's Arizona Cardinals, who are coming off the bye, taking on a Dallas Cowboys team that just got worked by the Denver Broncos. They lost that game 44-24. Dallas's defense might be the worst in the NFL, might be the worst I've seen in some time, really. Their offense, however, really good. They couldn't get it going, however, against a really stout defense in Denver. Here come the Arizona Cardinals. They're coming off the bye, 2-5. If they can win this on Monday night, maybe they can start to make things interesting. The question is, will they be able to get it done in Jerry World under the lights on Monday Night Football? Jesse, I'll start with you. Arizona, Dallas, who takes it and why?
Well, I think that it's strength versus strength. You got a good, high-powered Dallas offense versus, I think, a good Arizona defense, especially. They should be much healthier than what they've been. We talked about all the players coming back, but that secondary is getting healthy as well. So ultimately, I think that's strength versus strength. So then you go to the weakness of these two teams, Dallas's defense versus the Cardinals offense. I don't know why, but I'm going to bet on the Cardinals offense. I just think Dallas's defense is absolutely atrocious. They're not going to be able to do anything. And ultimately, I think that the Cardinals win a bit of a shootout here. I think this one's going to be a fun game. Give me the Cardinals 31-27.
Ooh, a shootout in Dallas on Monday night. Jesse's got the Cardinals bouncing back off the bye here. How about you, Jake? What do you, I mean, I'm looking at this one and I'm thinking it has to be what Jesse's thinking, but could it potentially be something else? Because Dallas at times looks like they can beat anybody, but then you watch them on Sunday and they just look terrible. The thing is, Arizona, they look like they could beat anybody in the league up until this point. So do they get it done against Dallas on Monday night?
Yeah, and every game for Arizona has pretty much been close. Dallas is undefeated at home. Their only non-win was a tie, and it was 40-40. Oh, it's the Emmitt Smith Bowl here. All right. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals pulled this out. I mean, Mike was just saying how Kyler Murray has success in Jerry World. I still don't love this pick, but I'm going to go 33-30 Cowboys. I actually don't mind these games on Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, because I feel like this will be high scoring. The problem, like when I was saying about the Commanders earlier, I just don't think they're going to score many points. Cardinals, Cowboys, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. So it should be fun. 33-30. I'll take the Cowboys. Wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals upset them.
No, it's a good point you make. The Commanders are just a brutal watch right now, but these two offenses, they're fun to watch. And from what we can hear so far, I mean, we're thinking it's going to be that type of game on Monday night. Unfortunately, the NFC West streak of picking the NFC West teams has come to an end. Jake's taking the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon, are you going to get back on the West train here, or are you going with the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night?
Woo woo! We're going West, baby. All the way. And this is
here it comes.
Partly because of the fact that I see the Cardinals just playing every game so bloody close, and that they're right on the precipice at times of getting over the other side. And that's against good teams, quality teams. To do this now up against the Cowboys that I do not see as a quality team. And I think this offense is going to find headway. If I'm not mistaken, Kyler goes back to his college, high school roots, I believe, in the state of Texas. He's going to be hyped up for this thing. And they're going to be able to, I think, supply just enough pass rush to get Dak a little bit uncomfortable so he can't just sit back there and throw dots all day on them against that secondary. So I go 34-31, a high-scoring game. I kind of share a little bit of Jesse's outlook on this one, the way I see it rolling. But I think the Cardinals get this done this week.
You guys are speaking my language. It's already setting up to be like a 14-10 game based on the fact that we all think this is going to be high-flying. Mike, what do you think is going to happen? And do you think your Arizona Cardinals get back on track coming out of the bye here against Dallas?
I mean, they got no choice. They have to. They have to get back on track in order for them to save or salvage any part of the season that they might think that they have. Like I said before, I mean, the coaching staff is talking like we're a 4-3 team or a 5-2 team right now because they're in every single one of these games. I think it does come down to which defense makes the one stop or two stops, or whether it's a turnover or anything like that. I mean, I do believe the Arizona Cardinals defense, nudges a little bit better, and it is trending that Kyler Murray will be playing, but it's still up in the air per Jonathan Gannon. Now, the amount of points that the Cardinals are going to be scoring, I'm not going to say it's contingent on if Kyler or Jacoby plays, because like I said before, Kyler has had a lot of success in AT&T Stadium. I don't know what it is, and it might be because of the roots of what he's been doing, but yeah, he's 9-0 in Jerry World at AT&T Stadium, and then 2-0 against the Dallas Cowboys in his career. So I'm going to lean on positivity here. I know that's a little different from what I'm used to, but I'm going to say a shootout as well. I'm going to say 37. Yeah, weird number. 37-33. Cardinals win this game.
I like the number.
Baby. All right. It might not be the most exciting game on paper, but it sounds like it's going to be one hell of a watch based on what we all think. We're thinking high-flying shootout, high-scoring game on Monday night. Let's hope we get that. All right. We are at the hour mark of the episode. That means it's
scorigami.
That's time of the show. Yeah. Is the scorigami bot back to working, by the way? Did they figure that out? Anybody know?
I don't know, but I was really sad when I saw a 39-38 game and it wasn't a scorigami.
It wasn't.
No.
Oh, I didn't even realize it wasn't.
Not only that, it happened earlier this year.
You know what they call that, Jake? They call that rarigami. That's what they call it. All right. Let's turn the page to the best part of every episode, and that, of course, is as Brandon cues me in. Give me a little sound here. The best part of the show, super chat.
Hold on. We got to wait.
So, I mean, you feel me? Start taking care of y'all mentals, y'all bodies, and y'all chicken.
And y'all chicken.
Let's take care of the chicken. Let's take care of it. We got 30 chickens, if you will, staring at me in the face right here. 30 super chats and counting, ready to be read. And we kick it off with Prapa, who's saying, I can't stand the Eagles, but I really hope they tush push the Rams out of the playoffs, or maybe the Lions will sun them again. Well, they better tush push them now because that play's getting banned next year. So they might as well do it now.
That was repulsive. I was so pissed.
There's already been a couple of moments this year so far with the tush push that's just been like, this is why this should be out of the game right now. Guys getting injured, them running at 4 straight plays from the 7-yard line. Let's just let that one go.
Was that not the tipping point for people? Like the Kayvon Thibodeau, like when they ban it and they're going to this offseason, they'll be showing that play on a loop.
100%. And not for nothing, on top of that, this was one of the worst officiated weekends of football I have ever seen. And it's coming in light of all the stuff going on in the NBA. Something's got to give with this officiating.
Yeah.
Terrible. Then you factor in
Darius Slayton's touchdown that was taken away in that game.
Oh, yeah,
Giants
that was
got
wild.
hosed. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying they're going to win, but you lose a turnover and a touchdown like that. That's crazy.
It's like, hey, we want better officiating. Best we can give you. The virtual measurement, that absolutely means nothing. All it is a graphic that shows you what the refs decided the spot was. And people still don't realize that, by the way. People think that there's like lasers measuring that. No, it just, instead of the chains, we're just using an Excel document or whatever the hell they use.
A guy named Bob.
Yeah. It's man, oh man. So
Eyeballing it.
HHG. Was fun chilling in your stream, C-Bot. Some cool people in the chat. Didn't expect an NFC opponent, did you? HHG was hanging out with me on a Monday night. We broke down every single passing rep for Josh Allen on Monday night over at the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel. That's where we were at. Every single one. Because this pass game, it ain't clicking right now in Buffalo. The run game's clicking. Offensive line's clicking. Defense was back. Passing game, not so much. And it better get right this Sunday, fellas, because the Kansas City Chiefs are coming to town. And
he'll show up against the Chiefs. I guarantee it. He always does.
Need MVP Allen.
I hope so, man.
Don't we all?
Maybe you guys need to get a receiver.
Yeah, well, that's what I mentioned earlier. You guys mentioned
ETJ.
Olave's been thrown around there. You talked about Brian Thomas there. So it'll be interesting to see if they end up making a move, but very cap strapped. So if they do,
What's happening with Gabe Davis?
He's on the practice squad. So who knows?
Like they're just like, yeah, like
The
he's
Billy
not playing at all.
letting guys go and then bringing them back to stockpile. If you haven't noticed, by the way, they love doing that. And he was one of the additions. I mean, him, Poyer, Micah Hyde last year, Tre'Davious White, of course. It's not God. It's all the time. So the thing is that guys are getting open. And it's just right now, this team is very much built on the run. And when they do throw, I don't know if Allen's fully trusting his ability to go deep right now because of how much they've built this offense on the short passing game. So it's odd. We'll see. This is the weekend to get it right, though. I'm telling you, it is. The Bills are really good against the Chiefs in the regular season. I won't talk about what they do against them in the postseason. Freddie K. Baseman. I have base in hand, one eye on the TV, the Dodgers, and one eye on the podcast. I am multitasking. Freddie, I hope you got some sleep last night. I did. I watched that whole damn thing. I'm not a baseball guy, but I watched every single pitch of that game. That was something else. So I'm hoping you're enjoying game 4 right now. Currently, the Jays are up 3-1 with 2 on and 1 out. So maybe they even this one up tonight. We'll keep an eye out. Deuce coming in. Can't wait for these upcoming NFC West games. Go Rams. I think we can all agree with Deuce here, and I think we're just glad to see NFC West football back, Deuce. I mean, seriously, where the hell was it last weekend? I was missing it. All these guys were missing it, but we're back. Full slate this upcoming Sunday. Can't wait for it. Jay Carlos, happy the Niners lost, but they ruined my parlay of them winning and a CMC touchdown. So he's using the Vader voice here saying, I don't know, Brandon, you're the impressionist here. Can you do a Vader voice here for me?
I might got you. Hold on. Let me see if I.
You have failed me for the last time.
Damn, that's cool.
It's infinitely better than anything I could have expected. I thought you were going to just, kind of warm your voice up a little bit and do something. That was unbelievable. How'd you even do that?
It's magic, man.
I was just going to say, the magician never revealed.
Oratory magic.
He's got the roadcaster,
He's
man.
too good.
and the roadcaster, too.
Look at my God. There ain't a trick Brandon can't pull off. Unbelievable. You ask, you shall receive. The only problem I feel like now, we might be getting some pretty odd requests. You better have a different voice for everything that we got.
I'm ready. I'm chambered. It's chambered.
I haven't seen you miss once, so I'm counting on you. Catalyst. Robert Saleh did his best Pete Carroll impression. In what way?
Rushing 4 and dropping back in soft zone coverage.
Damn. Kind of just
which is annoying because you come into the game knowing Stroud's going to dink and dunk his way through. So that's the thing that used to drive me when he mentions Carroll. That's what drives you crazy about it, is you're dropping to depth to protect against a deep ball that's never coming. So you're then leaving everything underneath open for the dink and dunk city over and over. And literally for almost the entire game, you'll live that way. And you're just sitting there as a fan watching it going, just squeeze it. Just bring him up.
Brandon, you were telling me this at the Rams game we were at. You're like, if they're going to do this the whole game, that's the only way they're going to lose. Boom.
Well,
yeah,
my
you
man
gotta be willing to will risk a little bit sometimes and get up there. I know they're down pass rushers, but come on.
Yeah.
My man Joe must not watch a whole lot of Jets or Titans or Raiders football because he's coming in saying Niners are the worst team in the NFL. F Brock.
Sheesh.
What?
Brock didn't even play.
They're top half of the league.
Yeah. And potentially scary if this offense does get healthy, and say nothing of Brandon Ayuk eventually making some peace with that front office to find his way back onto the field, because I don't know if they're just going to sit on him all year, but I mean, they still got the pieces there that could get, danger if it all got and clicked together.
Keon White supremacy. Yeah.
I like the Keon White move. I do.
Too.
I think that's a good deal.
I think it's a great move.
Stockton, back. Good to see you as always. Why did Rams sign Tyler Scott? Any trades coming? You talked about the additional trades that could potentially be coming down the pipe here, Jake, but Tyler Scott, if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, he's just a practice squad addition. Good special teamer in the preseason. We haven't seen much of him in the regular season. Burner, right? But nothing like crazy. I believe he played at Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. He was with Trey Tucker. Or not Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think there's really much to that. I mean, maybe they promote him on game day. Who knows? But, I wasn't like blown away by that pickup. I'm more interested that there's only 52 on the 53 right now. There's another roster spot for the Rams, and they haven't filled it.
Megan must have had to reset her password or something, because I know Megan's been a member. And this is telling me Megan just became a YouTube member.
Sometimes it doesn't let you do the auto renew thing.
Yeah, that's true. I have noticed that.
Well, Megan
sucks.
Appreciate it, Megan.
Welcome back. We expected nothing less. We love having you. We appreciate you as always. And you can be a new member every month. How about that? We'll just renew new every month, a new version of Megan every month. Hope you're doing well. Unexpected Savage. As a Rams fan and Roundtable fan, I still check other guys' videos. Jesse, what was that Texans exploding all over you? Coach is setting you up bad.
I saw that.
What?
It was a major pause moment on the show last night. My guy, Coach, and we do a show on Monday, and he said that the Texans exploded all over us. And I was like, oh, where did they put this explosion?
Well, you kept pausing. He kept going after it. it was. I was like, oh, hey, Jesse's on. And I was like, just like saying hi in the chat, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I just started hearing that, and I was just like,
that's funny.
No, I mean, they blasted us. No, I mean,
very, very positive, very possible moment for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, I know we have a ton of Dodgers fans in here. At least it seems like it. Not going well right now. Jay's just batted in 2 more, 5-1 tie up the series.
Let's go.
7th inning.
I'm sure they're 5.
I can't wait till baseball's over. My gosh.
I give the Jays a lot of credit, because if I lost in 18 innings, I don't know if I'd come back to the ballpark.
No, Jays are winning.
I thought the same thing, Jake. I'm thinking to myself last night, whoever loses this, like, I don't know how you come back from it. So you're right. That's a great point to be able to come back and put a lead together. Here's another one. Wow. They are really laying it down 6-1. They're rolling right now. And the reason I bring that up, Stockton, we know he loves him some Dodgers. He's saying Jake loves staying up to see his daddy Dodgers win last night.
I did stay up, not for the Dodgers. I watched Chainsaw Man, and then I watched Mobland and Tulsa King, because I have to catch up on all my shows. So,
and by the time you finished all those, it was in the 16th inning, right?
Literally the 16th inning. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, I thought the game would be over. I went to look, and I was like, oh my God, it's still going.
Yeah. My wife was like, why would you watch all of it? And I said, at that point, I had to prove to myself I could. Like, I don't even care really. And I was so invested at that point. I'm like, I have to watch the end now. When you've made it to 13 innings, like, you got to see who wins. I'm sorry. And I was losing my mind.
I made it to 12.
This isn't the first time. Brandon knows.
I had to do 18 innings in a stadium with no runs scored.
Damn.
18. No runs. With a forest fire on our left. Just a blowing on in. Just
and they'll say it's free baseball. I think there comes a point where I'd rather just leave. Like, I don't need
it was playoffs.
2 free games.
It was playoffs. It was playoffs. You couldn't leave because it was playoff. You left, you might get taken down by people in the safe field. Where are you going? Where you going? So
free baseball.
I heard in Seattle, Jake, with that baseball,
Yeah.
You're not leaving early. Come on, we're still tired.
That honest to God, Brandon, that sounds like hell on earth.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Did they win the ball game?
It was awful. Especially when they stopped the beer in like the 6th-ish inning, I think it felt like.
Oh
so you got another, yeah.
Did they win?
Just sitting there just.
Did they win?
Yeah, one of those. What'd you say?
For the seventh time? Did they win? I gotta know. I gotta know.
No, we lost.
Oh my God.
No. I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Then it's just you walk out of there. I mean, I don't know how you ever come back from that. That's brutal.
Yeah, it's a tough return.
Oh man. Jay Carlos, love the trade for McCreary. Let's go Rams. Yep, Jake seems to be on board as well. Glad you love it, Jay. We'll see.
Jesse
that's one more piece. Yeah, I mean,
I like
it seem. Yeah, it does seem like one of those additions. Yeah,
yeah.
Both the Niners and Rams made good value-based moves.
Talking about
both of them did, and Jesse's on it with the inside part of Keon's game because the guy was at college, used out on the outside way too much. Should have been a 3-tech from day one in college. So give him some time to grow in there, and he can maybe give you some pass rush from that inside.
Catalyst back in saying, I'm realizing how much I love Quentin Lake. Jake, 3 safety defenses are taking over the league.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin Lake is just, I mean, I got a chance to interview him during the bye for the 3rd time because I hadn't talked to him in 4 years, but he has just turned into a star. And the fact that you can just put him out there in the slot and you can put Cam Kinchens on the field at the same time as Cam Curl, and then you can throw Jalen McCullough in there. I mean, really, this is why the Rams defense is as good as it is, because you have Quentin Lake able to wear multiple hats. It keeps other guys on the field. It gives them kind of different looks. And, you know, Lake had the 18-yard sack against Trevor Lawrence. I mean, there's so many different ways that its defense can attack you, but the versatility in the defensive back room, I think, is the most, probably the least talked about of the entire, you know, equation. Everyone talks about verse, and now Byron Young and Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk, they don't really talk about the secondary, only in a negative light. I think they've done a great job, and especially that safety room, which I have gone on record. I believe it's the best in the NFL. I really do.
Tommy Cox, Corbin Smith did an article about trading for Garrett. Is it realistic for the Seahawks, and what's your opinion? How about another week where that man's just nailing his helmet down on the ground after dominating? And it's like, dude, could have been doing it with a contender. So, Brandon, what do you make of this one?
I don't really see the pathway for a deal like this getting done outside of Garrett doing something that's never been done, I don't think, in recent modern era, which is have to give some money back to then get paid with Seattle. So it's like I give back this amount to Cleveland, but then I'm instantaneously returning that back with Seattle to somehow make it work in that fashion. And I just don't know if Cleveland would be willing to do that. And again, we just don't have any baseline of that ever happening in the NFL. So there's just too much money. There is a way that it's like $28 million. They've got $22 million of money. So could they theoretically move a bunch of cap dollars around and then get just enough money under the cap to be able to eat that dead money in a trade? Well, yeah, they could, but that'd take a lot of moving parts, all for you not to be a contender. You'd have to just absolutely blow them out of the water with the trade capital return, I would say, to make that happen. I'm on board to make it. Don't get me wrong. Hey, you give me Myles Garrett, I'm sure you just ask any of these gentlemen in this chat and they'll be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to see that. But I just don't, I'll give up all the
assets. You
guys
get Myles Garrett, I'm going to quit the show.
I might even quit the show, honestly. That would piss me off to no end. I love how everybody's universally aligned on this stuff. I've seen so many takes on it. Everybody's aligned with it. We're just, nobody feels bad for him. Everybody's just like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous at this point. You know, you're freaking out on the sideline. What did you expect? They had 6 starting quarterbacks in the locker room at one point, and you expected.
You wrote a letter. You wrote a letter,
dude.
You wrote the letter. You signed it. You said, I need, this is where I really value. So yeah, shut up and sit, or give back some money. Hey, that'd be, if you really want to show us you were really about winning, why don't you come back to management and be like, all right, look, I'll give you all this back. And then you bail me.
Why don't you give up a couple of bucks and have Jesse quit the show? Come join the Seahawks, right? I mean, that's what the pitch is right now.
Built-in incentives. Built-in incentives.
Speaking of built-in incentives, can I incentivize you to give me a little extra love for Duce here, who's dropping an orange on us right now?
Yes.
Duce saying, I'm actually excited to see that Rams versus Seahawks game. Everyone in the NFC West will show up this week. Well, we all pretty much predicted that, right? I mean, outside of Jake, who's got the Cowboys taking down the Cardinals, everybody was leaning NFC West in every which way.
Still showing up.
Rams Seahawks week after this one?
30.
Or when's Rams Seahawks again?
It's
2 weeks
after the 49er game. I'm actually sounds like I'm going to be going to that one as well. So I'll be going to back-to-back NFC West games.
2 weeks with that way.
I'll be going to half of the Rams NFC West games. I can't recall that ever being the case because I've never gone to 3 games in a season, let alone 3 in the division.
Boots on the ground. Hopefully it goes better than last time, though, right? I mean, that's what we're rooting for.
I can't deal with another one of those at the goal line fumbles. I will no.
Jake Seahawks good luck charm? Question mark.
Only time will tell. We'll be on.
I mean, I'm 0-2 at SoFi. I'm 0-2 at SoFi.
Yeah, that is true. At least the last one was a good game, though. Tommy Cox, by the way, now I know the renewals are hitting because I know my man Tommy was membered up.
Amen.
He's back.
Thank you, Tommy. Megan, appreciate you.
Yeah, always appreciate you, Tom. Great to see you tonight. Catalyst back in, rocking and rolling. That MetLife turf may claim another Niners soul. It's not just the Niners. That MetLife turf seems to claim a soul from anybody who walks out on it. It's something else. What is it about it, though? Why just that? I wonder why.
Because all the turfs are different spots with different conditions around the turf. Just go to grass. Grass is safer. They're all so cheap about it. Makes no sense.
They're going to have, aren't they having like a soccer? I don't know soccer, guys. So sorry, I'm going to sound ignorant, but aren't they going to have like a soccer match or something at that stadium? And they're literally putting in grass and then they're taking it away and putting turf back in?
Yes.
I think they're doing that in Seattle, but they're going to keep the grass in, I think, once they put it in for the soccer.
Yeah, they're doing it in multiple spots. It's ridiculous. It's the one thing they asked for that almost everybody's aligned with, and the NFL completely fudges the numbers to make it seem like it's not a real thing. It's all they want, really. I mean, you ask any player, they all have the same answer, yet there's no statistic that backs up additional injuries. Well, you can make any number look like anything, so I think it's ridiculous. Alex Double X coming in saying, Mike is so excited. He's talking fast forward.
I always do. that's just me.
Listen, you're excited to get back on the train, man. You're playing the Cowboys Monday night. Opportunity for you to get back, get a W. I'm excited for you. Speaking of excited, I'm always excited when I see the best YouTube username on the planet pop up on my screen. That's Bronze Sausage. My wife is a Commies fan and will be at the game. I'm wearing Wagner's throwback. Bronze Sausage has 27-17. I also like the Commies, says Bronze Sausage. Sounds like he gives the wife a little bit of support there, but not on Sunday.
He has to.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Bronze is saying, no bad blood. Go Hawks. Y'all are great. You are even greater, Bronze. Appreciate you.
Bronze.
And you're going to the game, it looks like, right? Yes. Wow. So have a blast. That'll be fun. And good luck to both you and your wife, but don't tell her I'm leaning on your side a little bit here, Bronze. I'm rooting for you. So good luck. Have a good time. Space coming in. Picking on the Cards is like making fun of the blind.
It's cold-blooded. I mean, we're 2-5. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's what it is. Cardinals need to win in order for them to get back onto the run league. But, these guys know ball. They know what's up.
Why the blind, though? Why the blind in particular? I'm just wondering what,
I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll roll with it. Danny B. I have been a sleeper merchant since day one, but I will say I would like to bet on games as well as player props unless I miss the team betting. So it's not on there yet. And I don't have a fortune, what do you call it? It's not a fortune ball. What is it?
Cookie.
Fortune cookie. Yeah, whatever. It's all the same. Yeah, you can't eat the fortune
magic
ball.
8 ball.
Yeah, magic 8 ball, magic cookie. Yeah, whatever.
Crystal ball.
Thing.
Is that
crystal ball? And you want to know why I'm saying all this? I don't even know what I was gonna say.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Fortune, hoozla, mapoozla, woozla.
Whatever. Yeah. No, the one thing I will say, Danny, I get you. Like, the book stuff's fun. I love a sports book. Believe me, I love it a little too much. But what I like about Sleeper is it's more fun. Like, I really do find it more fun. I still go back to when Brandon and I, we didn't have any dog in the fight at that Niners and Rams game, but we were going nuts for our Sleeper slip, man, because you're rooting for a ton of different stuff to go down. So it's a lot of fun. I do hear what you're saying, but it is fun that way where you almost kind of build your little team and you're rooting for it. So, but I'll keep you apprised. If I hear anything from the powers that be at Sleeper, you'll be the first to know. Tommy Huxley. I don't like the Seagulls fans, but Brandon, he's cool AF. All right, Brandon. You're
that's very kind of you, Tommy. No, that's not easily said by the opposition. So I appreciate that.
Mark Sanchez, good to see him. Updated his profile picture. We love to see it. Worst trick or treat candy received. I'll go first. I got a can of Campbell's mushroom soup. Wow. I don't know if anyone's beating that.
I got a Vlastic pickle. That's
almost
about
disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
It just weighs down the bag.
Was it Donovan McNabb? Was it? Were you at Donovan's house?
Donovan McNabb and his mom.
Yeah.
Campbell.
Go deep, kid. And kids in the head with a can.
Oh, that's
and it wasn't even like the good Campbell's Chunky that Donovan and his mom used to eat. It's mushroom
is
soup.
disgusting.
Oh.
You know what, Mark? I'm not, and I know I need Mark's real name, by the way, one of these days. But Mark, I'm not even going to spin that around the table. Nothing's going to top what you said. That is way too good. I just wanted to see that.
Nope.
That is incredible. Oh,
Candy corn number 2.
Oh my God, that was great. Tommy saying, and Megan is the best Seagulls fan of all time. So Tommy, he doesn't love the Seahawks, but he's loving you, Brandon, and he's loving Megan. I mean, that's got to count for something.
Like I said, I know it's not easy to say on that. So, it's appreciated. Definitely appreciate it. I know Megan does too.
From one Tommy to another, Tommy Cox saying, if your team trade for Rattler, would you be for it? Well, we already know that the Niners fans are gung-ho about it. Another project for Kyle Shanahan. I don't think anybody in here is really pounding the table for a Spencer Rattler trade.
Probably no.
I wouldn't be against it.
Taking over for Stafford, Spencer Rattler. Upon the retirement of Matt Stafford, we now see Spencer Rattler taking the reins of this mighty Rams team.
The mighty Rams team.
Genius Sean McVay. Yeah, he's going to take him into another stratosphere.
I mean, I like Rattler. I think he can play in this league. I wouldn't be against it. Like next year, they probably won't retain Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to want to start. He had opportunities to start this year. I think something like that could be in play. I know what's his face, Anthony Richardson. That report came out. I don't know if we ever touched on that, but it was like he wants to go to a team like the Rams, which I thought was really funny. Like, what is that report like?
Sure he does.
I want to go to a team like the Rams.
Well, I would say he wants to go to a winner, but the second he sat down, that team is the best team in the NFL. So it's kind of crazy when you look at it. But
yeah.
Well, Brent's coming in. Brent with a capital T, by the way. Brent saying Niners' delusion of being contenders is legit triggering my genetic predisposition to schizophrenia. I cannot end up like my dad. Please stop. Wow.
Damn.
What just happened in that super chat?
I don't know. I need to read these before I read them. I mean, I'm telling you. Wow.
There's
They need to stop teasing him.
this man is at war against himself.
That was incredible. I don't know, man.
I don't know who's winning.
Stop making me believe.
Oh, man. That was great. Tommy Cox, he can't stop. He won't stop. He's firing on all cylinders tonight. Tommy's saying, I'm still a pro Sam Darnold. Needs to prove it. Oh, I'm still pro Sam Darnold needs to prove it. But if Darnold is so bad, why are the Vikings so bad? I'll tell you right now. Nobody regrets anything more right now, I would imagine, out of all of the moves made throughout the entire league, the past calendar year. Nobody regrets more of moving off a guy or whatever than the Vikings currently feel about moving off of Sam Darnold. You can't convince me otherwise.
They told us today.
How about Carson Wentz was out there the other day and like he was literally already had a season-ending injury before the game.
Yeah, then, that was bad. I can tell you, I mean, not to get all like conspiracy, I don't know for sure, but actions speak louder than words. I think they think Max Brosmer is actually pretty decent, and they didn't want him to have a good game and create any sort of quarterback controversy with JJ McCarthy because they're already kind of in that, hole that they dug themselves into. And since he was going to come back, they're like, oh yeah, Carson Wentz, if he plays well, he's a veteran. Like, it's no big deal. If Max Brosmer showed up JJ McCarthy, they would have a problem, and it wouldn't be a good problem to have.
Well, they already have a problem. Everybody's already aware of what we already knew, and I just think that's JJ McCarthy's not a first-round draft pick quarterback.
No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think it definitely makes Sam's season last year look better, at least to some degree, what you're saying there.
Brandon,
top of what he's doing.
You don't have to say anything. I got it for you. Hold on. I got it.
It's my quarterback.
It's Quarterback.
Enough said.
Actually, I need my sunglasses, right?
So do you guys agree or disagree on the Brosmer take? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know about that, but what I can say is JJ looked pretty healthy. I mean, he jumped a guy that was spinning at him on the sideline, and he looked pretty athletic for a guy that had a high ankle sprain. So I'll just throw that out there.
Also,
I think what Jesse's intimating is a little bit of what I'd be picking up on this too, Jake, which is just that I think that there's a little bit of want to try to protect McCarthy a little bit, and knowing quarterbacks can kind of go in the tank a bit. So I feel like they're kind of handling with kid gloves just a tiny bit here.
And that offensive line's bad.
Yeah. Whoever's going to go back there is probably going to get disassembled.
Yes. I just thought it was such a bad look on O'Connell. How can you have McCarthy as the emergency quarterback while Carson Wentz is literally out there? The guy was dying. I mean, every time he got up, it was like he was just like limping back to the.
And then
Hurst's
like, I understand, like you've had a rough night, but I don't. I think you got to keep your emotions. And I'm like, what?
Dude, the guy was getting killed out there every time he dropped back.
Oh, good Lord! I wonder if he said that when Tom Brady used to scream at his receivers.
I somehow doubt it. Right. Megan, great to see you as always. Throwback primetime Hawks football. Let's go 30-7. Oh, this is the first time here. Are they rocking throwback Sunday?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think that's right. It's going both ways.
The Commanders are too. Oh, that's going to be a top tier throwback game. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
What throwback are the Commanders going to wear? They can't wear the Redskins stuff.
They have those white ones, Jesse, that they debuted in the offseason. They're actually sweet. They're sweet.
Okay. They have the R, don't they?
I wish they did be able to come back with the Redskins one, though. That'd look pretty cool.
That would.
Maybe just for a game.
They have the R, right?
Maybe.
That's like their way of getting by it. Like they don't have the logo, but they have the letter R on their helmet. I'm pretty sure that's the one you're talking about.
I know the R you're talking about too, the one that kind of curves at the end, right?
Yeah. Now I need to know.
All right, well, let me know in a second here. Kings will dream in the meantime, coming in saying, I'll be going to this Sunday night game, speaking of which. So can we please win? So I have one on my game attendance record. Go Hawks. Well, everybody in here has the Hawks winning. So Kings will dream. If it's up to the NFC West Roundtable, sounds like you're getting a W in the
9 wins in a row under McDonald on the road, by the way, guys. 9 wins in a row on the road.
Looking for double digits. Jake,
so
what do
they
you got?
Don't have anything. I guess it's just a W. Okay.
All right. Well, we will find out.
They're not getting one of them.
Whoa. Well played. Megan back in. As the Cards are my brother's team, I can't back them until now. 27-20 Cards. Don't let me down, Mike. Megan's got the Cards beating the Cowboys.
I hope so too, Megan. I hope so too.
And I'm hoping so too. You cannot root for the Cowboys unless they're playing the Chiefs or something like that. All right. Megan back in again. Megan on fire. Have been a Jays fan for 10 years longer than the watched of the game. What is it?
Mariners.
Oh, is that they're the M's now? Is that how it is out in the
it's just shorthand we do in the Pacific Northwest, Love it. They get a little bit of success. Yeah. Now they're dropping everything and going with the M's. I dig it. Watched all of the game yesterday. Let's go Blue Jays. Well, Megan, ask and you shall receive because they're rolling right now. Looks like they're going to be not in this series up at 2 apiece heading into game 5. Megan continues to keep the ball rolling here, saying, Brandon, that was the day before we went to the Seahawks game, and you were so upset. On the what? On which one?
I think
talking about the Mariners loss you were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah, that was right. It was before I did a back-to-back to the Mariner playoff and then went to the Hawk game the next day. So yeah, I was pretty angry. I was an angry elf that day.
Did the Hawks win?
Not too happy. Yeah, we took down the course. We were playing the Cardinals.
Oh man. Good for you. I don't even know if Mike was listening right there. That was really well done. That was really good. Maybe he was. Maybe he was listening. Roger, great to see you, brother. Probably not a chance that it happens, but an F them picks 2.0 by Snead sure does sound good. Jake, any chance we see that happening?
There's a chance. I'm not like confident we're going to see Brian Thomas Jr. in a Rams uniform, but I don't know. They're looking at this team and they do have 9 picks. They got 2 firsts. They got a second. They got a third. I mean, they have a lot of draft capital. They could absolutely do it. Here's my pushback against like a Jalen Waddle or somebody like that. that money is going to go against the money that you're going to need to pay Puka Nacua, Jared Verse, Byron Young, the list goes on. But the reason why Brian Thomas Jr. makes sense is because if he is available, that is a cost-effective deal. He's essentially going to be hardly anything. And are you going to pay Devontae Adams next year $28 million? I don't know if you are. So it could be their way of kind of, right now he can really help us out, but then next year he can replace, for lack of a better term, Devontae Adams in the future. So that, to me, that is the type of move I see the Rams doing. I don't see them going rental unless it's going to be like a day 3 pick. Like if Rashid Shaheed, all you need to do is give up like a 5th rounder this year and maybe even like a 4th next year, I think they'd do that. Or I think they'd at least consider it.
Duce saying Sports Equinox happening right now. Got NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL. Let's eat. Duce must be watching an NFL game on replay, which, by the way, I like to do a lot. The YouTube has a ton of old games. I just kind of let them go on in the background, and it's awesome. But unless you're talking about the NFC West Roundtable as part of your NFL fix in the Equinox, then you're dead on. Last night was the legitimate Equinox this year for the for sports, which was awesome, and we were treated to one of the best baseball games I've ever seen within that Equinox. So tonight's game not as good, but you can't get a repeat of what we got last night, that's for sure. Stockton saying Spoon is jealous at how much Jake's glazing Quentin Lake. Wow. Call me out, Jake. How about that? Tommy Cox.
Lord
I
almighty.
agree with this comment.
Ooh, yeah. Jake mentioned earlier and often really that he thinks the Rams have the best secondary. But Tommy
I think
thinks
they have the
otherwise.
best safety room currently. That's what I think.
Oh, we're moving the
Well,
goal.
no, I
Right.
don't have
What's
Akello
secondary?
Witherspoon right now, and Darius
That's
Williams
just
might not
like
play.
you at the front of the things. Okay.
Well, without Akello, I don't think that they have a chance to be one of the best corner rooms in the league, and therefore it would weaken their secondary. The safety room, yeah, I don't think anybody has a better 4 than Quentin Lake, Cam Curl, Cam Kinchins, and Jalen McCullough. I'd challenge anybody on that.
Jesse, you said you agreed with Thomas, so
Well, the secondary,
Ah.
the secondary in totality.
okay. And that's with a healthy Witherspoon or without.
Well, either way, it doesn't matter. Give
Oh, you
me Seattle has the best spoon, to be fair.
Right. Preach.
They're different. They're definitely different. I think if I needed somebody to help me in run support, I'm taking Devin.
Stop where your head, Jake.
I don't care.
different.
All right. If I need one guy to go up against the best receiver on the other team, give me Akello.
All right.
Akello size.
coming in.
Like AJ Brown is gonna sun Devin Witherspoon, and Akello Witherspoon is gonna sun AJ Brown. So I will take Akello against the number 1 receiver on the other team. Now, if I need a guy to blitz and I need a guy to help in run support, yeah, give me Devin Witherspoon. He's a great
And
tackler.
play nickel.
And play nickel. Yes, absolutely. But on the outside, give me Akello all day long.
We
He's
haven't
a better.
really seen Devin Witherspoon on the outside, so we don't really know what Devin Witherspoon can do on the outside since he's played slot his whole career, right?
Yeah, so therefore, number 1 receiver, give me Akello Witherspoon.
Well, no, it's not that he's incapable of playing outside; he just hasn't. So we don't know what he's done. He's going to play outside.
Well,
here.
I know that
playing
he's
now.
going to
He's
shut
going to
down
the outside now.
AJ Browns of the world, Justin Jefferson's, Jordan Addison, because he did it in the postseason. What I don't know is Devin Witherspoon going to do that? If I already know something, like I know what I know with Devin Witherspoon, that he's great in the slot and can come up and play the run, by all means, I'll take him in that. But yeah, I'll take Akello on the outside for sure. And I'll take Akello against your number 1. Give me any receiver and I'll take Akello against him.
Your guy, my guy, your top, my top. Let's get after it. The battle of the spoons, baby. I love it. And we talked about this a couple weeks from now. We got Hawks Rams, so we'll put the money.
He won't be back until he won't be back by then, sadly. I don't think so anyway. I mean, stranger things have happened, but
It's because I set it up so well that, of course, that
well, they're not exactly going to go up against each other, which is the funniest part about that
Mahomes isn't
battle.
going to be going up against Allen this week. Find somebody who's not telling you that's Mahomes versus Allen.
I know, and I totally lined you up for that because it's the funniest thing ever. It's like, oh, watch Brock Purdy take on Matthew Stafford. Oh, really?
I know. Imagine.
Are they ever going to be on the field at the same time, other than the handshake?
Imagine on the broadcast graphic, like instead of Mahomes Allen, it's just the two spoons, like it's the marquee matchup, the spoon v spoon. Wouldn't that be great?
The
If we look
spoon
at it
bowl?
through that lens, and then we would realize how insane it is to say that it's the quarterback versus the quarterback.
It's so insane. It's ridiculous.
Wave, will the Cards look to sign Trey Brown and soon after cut him? All that talk to not get a single snap against Seattle. Go Hawks.
I don't know.
He's bouncing around the division a bit right now. We passed him the Niners. Niners passed him around somebody else.
Oh, okay. No, probably not. We got good cornerbacks.
Who was talking about Trey Brown?
Cornerback Trey Brown.
Because the Rams cut him. I don't think I said anything. I mean, I just was like, yeah, he's a guy that might get some snaps, but
yeah. So
sounds like he's trotting around the division.
No.
Yeah, he's trying to play every single team. I just don't see why the Cardinals would add him.
He's doing the Joe Flacco. He's going to be taking over for Aaron Rodgers next year. Wyatt Wood becoming a new YouTube member. Thank you, Wyatt. Appreciate you. We got Stockton back in. Jake's take on Judge being better than Ohtani is sad. That
How
was
is
the
it
single. When they intentionally walked that guy last night 4 consecutive times, I just couldn't believe what I was watching. It was unbelievable.
I mean, what I don't understand about this is I've made this clear, and I know Stockton knows I made it clear. Ohtani's the better player because he can pitch and he can hit, and he's fantastic. Judge is a better hitter because he's a power hitter who can hit over 50 home runs and win the batting title. He's the better hitter. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. I don't think anybody would say he's the better player. How could you? You got the guy playing 2 starting roles at a top tier level. It's really hard to do.
It's really impressive. Like, this is the year where I was like, okay, Ohtani is the best in the world at what he does. This was I saw it in the postseason. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because he did not have the numbers until this year.
It's fascinating. Joseph, coming back in. New York is going to commit football murder Sunday. 35-6. Wow. If the Giants beat the Niners 35-6, Jesse, I know you said earlier you'd quit if Myles Garrett was taking over the things on the D line in Seattle, but this might need to be up there on that list as well.
Maybe he meant the Jets.
The Jets are on bye, right?
The Jets are
they're
back.
going to murder that bye week.
I wouldn't put it past them,
man.
Jesse. I don't know if they can string 2 together. I'm
a little worried for the bye week now.
Tell you what.
They win one game and get carried away.
I'm telling you. Joseph's back in. He's saying Rattler is 10 times the QB than Brock Purdy will ever be. I agree, Jesse. Oh, man. Brock hasn't played in weeks.
Joseph Ehrenberg is exactly who 49ers fans think that I am. That's the best part.
It's funny.
Oh, man. Space. That joke went over your head, Z-Bot, but I'm not surprised you're a Bills fan. What joke? That one didn't go over my head, Space. I appreciate that. That one landed pretty well. What was the other joke?
I have no idea.
Maybe there wasn't one, and that was the whole point.
Maybe the joke is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. Well, I didn't make a friend in Space, I'll tell you that, because you just went right to the throat there. Good for you, Space. We can read in Buffalo, contrary to popular belief. There's not much else to do. So thank you, Space, for that one. Got that joke. Thomas says, love Bryant Emanwari is better. Sorry. He's doubling down on the secondary of Seattle. He doesn't want to hear it, Jake. He just doesn't want to hear it.
Who's Bryant?
Kobe Bryant? Our strong safety?
Love Bryant Emanwari is better. Sorry.
That combination.
Oh,
of
love Bryant Emanwari. Okay. Yeah.
We can and Ty Akada on top. That's played really, really good for us too. So
yeah, I would still take the Rams 4, right. But I think they're very good. I mean, I think they're very good, but I'll take the Rams 4. And
last but not least, we have Wave coming back in saying, look up Trey Brown's quote when he joined the Niners.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. Yeah. Trey Brown talked trash. They were playing Seattle week 1, and then he didn't even.
Tough to talk trash when you're going around the whole division. You know what I mean?
He got fired on his day off, and now he's catching strays left and right. Poor guy.
Oh, my God. That's too good. All right. Hey, $145 in the books on a Tuesday night. Once again, coming off of only one game in the NFC West. No one can go 145 off of that little information like the boys on the NFC West Roundtable. I'm telling you, what a show. Appreciate everybody who came out and tuned in despite all their teams being on the bye outside of the Niners fan base. Luckily, next week, we got a lot to talk about as we have one more coming in from Stockton saying, why are the Rams rumored to be after a running back?
I didn't know that they're rumored to be after a running back, but if they were going to go after anybody, I would go after Breece Hall to perfectly complement Kyren Williams.
Well put. Well put. And Stockton, our insider, will keep an eye out because, as I was just about to say, not only will we have a full slate of NFC West football to recap for you, same time, same place next week, but we will be able to talk all things NFL trade deadline as that is quickly approaching this time next week on Tuesday. So plenty coming your way next week. We can't wait to see you then, recapping week 9, talking about the trade deadline. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for our week 8 recap and our week 9 predictions. On the way out the door, like button if you could, subscribe button if you could. Same time, same place next week. We can't wait to see you then. For Mike, Brandon, Jake, and Jesse, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in to the NFC West Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.